Ted Cruz is making some amazing gains, but can anyone catch Trump? I'm John Phillips, and this is Pole Position. Latest CNN ORC poll of the Republican presidential field has some amazing numbers. Let's go ahead and take a look. Donald Trump is way out in front with 36%. Ted Cruz, a Texas senator, jumps into second place with 16%. Ben Carson drops to third with 14%. Marco Rubio takes fourth with 12%. And then there's a huge drop-off, or as Donald Trump would say, huge. Chris Christie leads the pack of single-digit candidates with 4%. Jeb Bush and Carly Fiorina both get 3%. Mike Huckabee and John Kasich come in with 2% each. And Rand Paul brings up the rear with a single percentage point. Everyone else below 1%. Let's compare these numbers to the last time the poll was taken back in mid-October. Donald Trump was at 27% then. So he's still the front runner, but has widened his lead by a lot. Ted Cruz was at a measly 4% in the last poll. He's gone from trailing Rand Paul all the way up to second place. That is a huge development. It's also a major turnaround for his campaign, and the second time here on Pole Position that we had good news for Ted Cruz. October may have been the high watermark for Dr. Ben Carson. He had 22% back then, but has been dropping off ever since and really hasn't hit the basement. Marco Rubio is improving. His number in October was 8%. Chris Christie is flat at 4% in both surveys, but Jeb Bush, get this, he's dropped from 8% to just 3%. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Carly Fiorina and Mike Huckabee both dropped a bit. John Kasich, he's slightly up, and Rand Paul fell into a black hole, losing most of his support. Here's another interesting nugget. When asked, regardless of who you support, who's most likely to win the party's presidential nomination, the overwhelming majority, 52%, say it's Donald Trump. Marco Rubio came in second with 15%, Ted Cruz is third with 11%, and Dr. Ben Carson is fourth with 10%. Jeb Bush gets a ridiculous 3%, and everyone else gets 1% or less. What you're seeing here right now with these numbers is the worst possible scenario for the Republican establishment. They do not want Donald Trump to be the nominee, especially after his remarks on Muslim immigration. The only person they hate just as much, if not more than Donald Trump, is Ted Cruz. Just ask Mitch McConnell in the Senate if you don't believe me, or John McCain, who I think called him a wacko bird at one point in time. The establishment candidates, Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio, have so far failed to catch fire. I predict is what you're going to see happen, given these numbers and these developments, is Jeb Bush is going to be pushed out of the race now that he's terminal. Marco Rubio is going to be given a chance to catch fire and get into that first place position, maybe even second place position, or at least look like a viable alternative to Cruz or Donald Trump. If that doesn't happen, do not be surprised, and I'll predict it right here on Pole Position, and remember you heard it here first, if Mitt Romney is drafted by the Republican elite to get back into this race so Ted Cruz or Donald Trump doesn't end up as the Republican nominee. Mitt Romney is a guy who's been able to win the nomination before. He's run for president twice before. And most importantly, he's a hawk on immigration, which is the issue that the other establishment Republicans have had a hard time with this time around. If you look at Mitt Romney's position on immigration, it pleases people like Ann Coulter, who have been writing about this subject and talking about this subject for quite some time. It's an acceptable position to many Trump supporters, probably many Cruz supporters. That's the only direction, at this point, in my opinion, the establishment can go in to defeat Ted Cruz or defeat Donald Trump and take the nomination away from him. Time will, of course, tell the story. That's the position of the polls, but now it's time to make your opinion known. Can anyone catch Trump, maybe even someone whose name isn't on the ballot quite yet? Tell us your thoughts in the comments section below. I'm John Phillips for Pole Position. Thanks so much for watching.